We don't live in a positive society, and Twitter is a cesspool of it.
What's up, everybody? It's episode 177 of Radio Free Innsmouth. Sorry there wasn't a new one last week. I had a lot of stuff going on. But I mean, I did one early the week before that. That makes it better, right?
안 골라 이건. 포기, 패스.
Oh, no, wait, you're right. That would make it worse since that means there's more time between uploads. Shit. Anyways, I was hoping to have this one out earlier, but I got the sick. My voice is full of boogers. I was waiting for it to go away, and it didn't go away, so sorry you're going to have my nasty mucus-encrusted throaty voice for this episode. But that's okay, because we're going to be getting into some considerably nastier material than usual for this particular go-round. As you may or may not be aware, lately I've been getting into Slavic rap for some reason.
I don't listen to rap, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, y'all.
No, it's okay, because this actually has connections to a lot of the metal stuff over there. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alright, I already don't like rap, and when you mix it with metal, it's like, Jesus Christ, fucking yikes, dude. Well, luckily, over in the glorious motherland, they didn't have a very elongated cringe phase in the 90s and 2000s where you had shit running around like this.
I'm having sex with my mom and fucking dad, Will Wiggins. My father's Joe edges and hurt. Sex with my whole family. My penis fucking smells.
Rather, the first inklings of rap leaking into the overall metal Slavic consciousness I could find would be with DEV that I covered a while ago, and we all love those guys, right? Dmitri, I am going to say it! Sergey, no! He always say it. We have cancel culture! Obviously, there's plenty of Russian rap that isn't connected to metal at all. One of my favorites being Geo Pika.
아, 이거는 못 고르지.
No, not that Geo. Or that Pika, for that matter. Geo Pika does, I guess you could call it like gulag rap, where it's very intentionally lo-fi and bleak sounding to mimic the experience of being in a Russian prison, which is probably somewhat unpleasant. I really like this dude's voice. He just sounds like a scary fucking guy. I don't know, he does songs about like cutting people's heads off and stuff. It's great.
It's fucking metal as fuck, dude.
But getting the more metal related stuff, one of my homies hooked me up with this compilation. It was just called Right Wing Music, but you know, in Russian, obviously. And it had Keyboard, who you know I love, and Johnny Zigger, who are a pretty interesting sort of like Sokira Peruna adjacent project, doing this like weird fusion of black metal and hardcore turning into RAC type stuff. But the standout track on this compilation, which of course features a Stolnigrad. Alright, to keep Susan happy, we'll call it a Kolovrat with rounded edges inside a circle, but come on, we know what that is. But the standout track on that was actually from a hip-hop artist named ATL, and that was sort of my gateway into like larger Slavic rap culture, because this guy does some really interesting stuff. He heavily crosses over into dance music, which can either lead to very sort of calm and atmospheric tracks like this one. This is the song Loop off of the 2017 EP Distortion, one of my favorite songs. I really like this guy's voice, and I like the weird dancey stuff he does, because check this transition right here. You can hear that drum machine speeding up. We're going to get into some kind of breakdown. See, this is really cool stuff, almost kind of Boards of Canada-ish. Maybe a little bit of R&B. There's a lot of weird like vocal modulation stuff. Other songs they'll do things like incorporate like female choirs for sort of a decadent church-like atmosphere. Pretty interesting stuff on that. So there's like atmospheric ones, and then you can do harder edge dance music stuff like the title track on that same EP, which gets into this like weird acid techno territory. He also dabbles pretty frequently in GABA, happy hardcore, and of course hard bass. So ATL, a lot of variety going on there, interesting stuff. And it is metal adjacent just because he shows up on all these like right-wing nationalist, you know, metal compilations like RAC stuff, and he wears lots of like death metal shirts. I think he's into the genre. He got that intensity, you know what I mean? But if we're getting into like metal proper bleeding into our Russian hip hop, we have to go to the main topic this week. My personal favorite of all the Russian rap I've heard, Stolnigrad, who initially were pretty much fairly straight-laced, sort of like straight-edge, National Socialist, a lot of hardcore aesthetics, similar ideology to Kamayed Zitka, actually, that I covered earlier. Oh shit, they did the DMX thing. Aesthetically, it's a lot of ski masks, lifting, in the gym, self-improvement, generalized aura of menace and such. And if you are a fan of right-wing black metal, that sort of aesthetic might be making you prick your ears out, because you're probably thinking of something like this. My personal favorite black metal band, Peste Noire, has been going very hip-hop lately, wherein they structure their songs as sort of like a black metal guitar loop, but it's used like a hip-hop beat, and the way that he arranges the lyrics is very hip-hop. But aesthetically, Peste Noire's aesthetics match those of Stolnigrad almost exactly. Like the ski masks, lots of lifting, bodybuilder stuff, positive self-improvement vibes combined with an aura of violence. Initially, when Peste Noire started doing this kind of stuff, I interpreted it as them kind of retaking masculine aesthetics from like sort of like the prepackaged MTV hip-hop stuff and using it as sort of like a call to arms for
앞머리 안 자를 거예요.
Alright, yeah, no, we're not stupid. We don't want to get banned off of YouTube, and we know exactly what it is they're advocating. But now I think that having listened to a lot of, especially the Slavic stuff, which I know Peste Noire has been like steadily moving towards the Slavic sphere on the past couple albums, I'm thinking he may have actually been directly influenced by a lot of this stuff, including specifically Stolnigrad. What's more interesting about that is that Stolnigrad is sort of like a mirror band to Peste Noire, wherein Peste Noire is a black metal band that started incorporating a lot of like rap compositional techniques and aesthetics. Stolnigrad is a rap, what do you call them, cruise bands? I don't know. It's a bunch of rap dudes that have been letting more and more metal leak into their sound, which has had some particularly interesting results. Their 2017 album, Dorogoy Smierti, or Dear Death, had an interesting style change where a lot of it, like this stuff right here, that could be on a Temnozor album, this folky stuff, and then watch what they do over it. The vocals are all over the place. There's a whole bunch of dudes in this band, and that means a lot of vocal variety. You got a shouty guy, you got the hype man in the background, a little bit more yelly, and they're trading voices on and off. One dude's even got kind of like a black metal voice going on that you'll hear in a bit. With the hurdy-gurdy, they're very organic sounding. And then we have these like very operatic vocals, again, would not be out of place on a Temnozor album. Very emotional. And I enjoy them quite a bit. Like, this whole thing literally just sounds like a Temnozor album without the metal stuff. Instead, there's rap stuff, but it's actually like a very smooth flowing style, very unique sounding. Highly recommend that album. And on this one, you start seeing the first inklings of like actual for real metal, not just guitar background tracks leaking in, because check this out. This one's the third to last song on the album. It's called The Tin Woodman. And at first glance, it would be more in keeping with the earlier material. The heavy use of orchestral parts, very shouty, angry, violent, passionate. Nothing too wacky and out of the ordinary yet. And it is very good, but they're going to take it in an interesting direction right around now. This is like a little guitar breakdown. That's pretty interesting. Like that music box thing there too, very Russian sounding. And a pick slide. Look at that. Okay, they're already incorporating metal composition transition techniques, like doing pick slides to get back into like a heavier version of a verse. That album might have hinted at a more metal direction, but their 2019 album, Mulat Vaini, or A Hammer of War,
Cleanse, purge, kill,
fully embraces metal, and it's actually, they're almost more of a metal group than a rap group at this point. The ultra percussive riff with double-tracked screamed and growled vocals gives me heavy Septic Flesh vibes, or maybe even a slowed down Deicide. So obviously they've pricked my ears up with that. Then we incorporate more folk instrumentation with those very operatic, soulful vocals that I enjoy so much. I mean, this is a really cool album, very interesting mixture of genres, and I haven't really heard anything that sounds like this outside of other Stolnigrad songs. Really cool stuff. And then watch where it goes into. We're going to hit a bit of a folk music interlude. That's always nice. This almost reminds me of like a windier riff or something, but being played with a stringed instrument. I mean, I guess I'm an idiot. Like, fucking guitars are stringed instruments. What are you talking about, Jub? Start. This is cool stuff. But wasn't this some kind of rap group right here? Well, we're going to get to that in a bit. But first you have to enjoy the rest of this great operatic clean singing, of which, like, I'm a big fan of. These guys are very good at it. Here we go. Right? Seamless transition into like a rap verse. And actually the way these guys utilize vocals, even if they're doing like non-rap vocals, they'll be doing like choirs and then death growls and shrieks. They switch off, kind of like how, you know, like different rappers might switch off verses with their different vocal styles. These guys just have much more variety in vocal styles. They also have decidedly more riffy, like definite, actually 100% metal songs on this album. That last one you just heard was called Assault on Jerusalem, and this one is called Reconquista, so I believe that gives you a good idea of where these guys stand politically. This section right here is like another very kind of Temnozor type thing with orchestral kind of percussion, a lot of negative space, and then you had like the folky drone instruments with some very kind of like Moon Sorrow-ish heavy guitar chords leading into an 8-string like Meshuggah style riff, but much more melodic, that I found to be rather interesting. Also like the overlaid lead guitar kind of weaving its way between the harder edged riffs. And this guy's just doing straight black metal vocals. This is just a metal song with occasional little electronic bits like what you just heard. And I enjoy it quite a bit. I feel like I say that a lot about this band because guess what? I think they're really nice. That's why I did an episode about them. They're all about smooth transitions into the operatic stuff, into the rap stuff, wherever. These guys, I don't know what you call this genre at this point. I've heard a few other Slavic groups doing similar stuff. And I think it's just kind of going on over there, this like rap, folk metal hybrid thing. I don't know what to call it, but I enjoy it. This part's sick. Look how fast he's spitting these words out. Very Tom Araya. The cool thing about these guys is since it's all in Russian, apparently the powers that be haven't picked up on what these guys are about, and it's actually pretty easy to obtain these albums on like YouTube, Amazon MP3, might even be on Spotify. I know they took Keyboard off the American Spotify store. Hopefully that wasn't my fault. I know this was another musical act that was a bit outside what some people believe to be like the purview of this show, but I think they're really interesting, and you should check them out. I will see you in the next episode. Hopefully it won't be delayed this time.
That's some spicy meatball.
I'm gonna vomit after this video. I will go to the toilet and puke this shit out.